Well, weather is still taunting me. It just seems like everywhere I go, even if it's not raining, there's lightning right next to me, or there's very high wind, and then all of a sudden it starts to sprinkle, and then all of a sudden it turns really nasty, so I pack up and go, and all of a sudden it turns nice again. So I think I'm gonna call it a day, because honestly, it just amazes me how fickle nature is. You know, I'm looking at the clouds way off in the distance. I mean, anywhere where I look, it's way off the distance, and it just, because it circled me from every angle, it rains whichever direction the wind is coming from. And even if it's not raining, all of a sudden what it does is, hey, got another water crossing. I mean, the whole lightning routine, I don't like that, not one bit. Especially in a place like this. I mean, you could see how iffy the roads are as they are, and this is dry. Now, imagine what it's like when it's wet and when there's a torrential downpour. And once again, there is no signage. Where are you supposed to go? Left, right, forward. Well, this is yet another place we're going to be visiting. And it looks like they have some islands that you could circle around, and off in the back, the Kogan grass that I keep telling you guys about, that brown stuff over there, that's Kogan grass that's out of season, or sometimes when it's herbicided it dies off like that, but then it comes right back. So what we're gonna do, oh, that's a pretty lake now that I look at it. So it has been a while for me to have gone kayaking. The weather has been incredibly iffy this past year, unfortunately. It's been very windy, and it's very hard to pick out sort of the right time frame in which you could go about your business. So we'll see how today goes. I don't really have my hopes up. It's supposed to be like 15-mile-an-hour wind or something of the sort. That being said, it's also middle of the, or actually I should say beginning of the alligator mating season. And so off in there, there's the alligator who is serenading, and he is extremely grumpy, so I'm gonna keep my distance just in case. And we'll see how it goes. And meanwhile, I'm also dealing with the fact that everything on my kayak is rusty, like literally. So there we go. Have to lock everything up. There we go. All right. Let's see. That works better. Over the winter, my Hobie Pro Angler kayak handle has decided to crumble on me, and I don't know if it's to do with the fact that it's been just cold as hell all through the winter and it just cracked under that, or something else happened. But it looks like I'm gonna have to get myself a handle replacement. I'm getting by just by steering with what's left of it. So the first stop today... Oh look, there's a herring over there. The juvenile. If it was an adult, it would be screaming with that horrible screech that they have. And, you know, like I mentioned previously, for such a beautiful bird, I'm actually quite shocked how the more the beautiful the bird is, the worse their call is. It is really beautiful though. Everything is coming back from being killed off. We had a very, very unusual winter in Florida. It's just been perpetually cold. My electric bill, which normally is about $93, it's been systematically $190, so almost 3 times as much, or twice as much rather. I would like to get into that little nook and crevice over there, but it's actually kind of shallow, deceptively. But you get the point. Off on the bank there's a bunch of cows. I don't know if they got in the shot previously. Over there, just minding their beeswax. You know, it's very interesting. This lake is actually quite full of alligators, and despite that, they just graze right next to the bank like it's nobody's business. You know, if this was like Africa, you know, those traditional National Geographic images that you see of crocodiles hunting wildebeest, I don't know if this stuff happens here in Florida. I haven't heard anything about it and I haven't seen it. Alligators are well fed by all the tilapia that they're eating here. And this particular lake is full of alligators. When I was unloading my kayak, I've counted, I don't know, a whole bunch. Just by here in the shot, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, just in that. There's 3 straight ahead, there's 1 to the right of us, there's 1 to the back of us. Oh, there's another one. So that's 4. Look at that. And this is actually a good place for them. You know why? Because you get banks like this over there, where it's actually, if you come here at the right time of, I guess, year, season, or whatever you want to call it, they'll be sitting up on that bank, and that's why you see a whole bunch of them. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. The one in the back that you see over there is arching his back, showing me who is the boss. We're talking about way back in there. This guy up here is probably, well, let me see if I even got him in the shot. There he is. He's probably 6 feet long, more or less. Oh. And this is a very traditional behavior with alligators. They just don't want to get in the way. They really don't. Now that swimming in the back is a much bigger specimen. I would say probably hopefully the camera's picking him up. There he is. Probably 7 feet long, maybe 7.5. There he is. And I also need to keep in mind that this is the nesting season, so I would not be surprised if those are a bunch of mamas. Ooh. Now this, my friends, right there, was rather territorial. It let me know it did not want me here. And actually, if you look, I don't know if camera will pick it up, but there's multiple mounds on the other side of this veg. Oh, okay, there you go. That is letting me know that it doesn't want me here. The fact that it just came up like that. So, like I said, what's happening is on the other side of this vegetation, there's several mounds that you see over there. And those several mounds are the babies. And the mama ain't quite happy. And if mama isn't happy, nobody is happy. And what's happening is they're escorting me out of here. This guy, or girl probably, and that one. You know, it's incredible how often the back that you see over there, there's a heron right in the middle of all of this. It's like the birds, I mean, they're literally inches away from the jaws of death. They don't care. Either they're stupid or the alligators just don't hunt the birds. Oh, I forgot to tell you, between previous year and this year, one thing I've done about my handle is I actually moved it on the inside of the kayak. That way my hand, holy, that is a big water moccasin. The camera isn't going to pick him up, but he is big on the other side of the lake. Wow. But yeah, I moved the handle to the inside of the kayak because you know, it's obviously ill-advised to have your hand dangling off the side if you have alligators. And it's been working out quite fine, I would say. The only downside is the actual handle fell apart, but I don't know if it's the sun or something else. So I'll have to rectify that a little bit. Hey, look, there's a young cow. And it's like, what is going on? Whoop. And off it runs. I wonder why it's scared. Or maybe it's confused. See him over there? I just noticed my camera is cockeyed. I'm gonna try and rectify it. It was got so excited to go back in the water that didn't quite set up my equipment right. But today is not about that. The wind is picking up, so towards the end of the trip, more than likely it's gonna start blowing 20 miles an hour. And it already is picking up. You can see it by the water. And another thing about this lake is that it is shallow. I keep hitting the bottom. It's actually quite refreshing to hear all the birds, it means that the ecosystem is good. And that's the reason why we saw this many alligators. Alligators are here because, ooh, there's a big one on the bank. Hopefully the camera will pick him up. Right there. You see him? Sitting out there in the bush. Let's see if he'll give us a grandiose entrance. And that's a big alligator over there. I can see it. Or if it's a really big... Oh, there he goes. And all that you see from that big alligator is just this. And you would never even think about it, right? I mean, you've seen how big the alligator, and then there he goes, just like that. They love banks like this because it allows them to get in and out of water. Looking at stuff drying up, getting back in the water, warming up. If they're too hot, they go right back in. Just perfect. And the soil is nice and soft. The banks are not too steep. Just perfect. Off to the right, just out of the camera angle shot, there's what you could call an albino looking. Let me see if I could pick him up. There, you could sort of see him move over there, right there. That's an albino looking alligator. Obviously, being a light colored alligator isn't conducive to being an alligator in this ecosystem. It makes you easy prey to predators, and it's also very hard to camouflage yourself. We just had what could only be characterized as alligator Olympic season. I'm hoping that my GoPro picked it up. That's the reason why I have both my GoPro and my camcorder. GoPro is on all the time. So two alligators sitting up on the bank. I've just decided to go for a sprint. And like I said, this is a perfect environment for them. They're out, you know, basking in the sun, minding their beeswax, and here comes some random guy in a kayak spooking them. This here is actually one of the better habitats that I've seen so far in this paid subscription private land territory. It has the feng shui feel of just all the right pieces. I can only imagine what it's like here when it's not blowing wind. And you know, ironically, I'm actually going into the wind right now. I decided to go against the wind first, and I'm also going into the sun. So between squinting at everything and fighting the wind. But imagine if all of this was flat. I'm gonna have to see if I can come back later on. I've been dwindling down my list from 150 something down to about 8 different places. So I've been thinking about whether to renew my subscription come September. Have to give it some serious thought. But at the very least, for time being, I'm knocking things out off my list. This is too funny. Now that I left the area, the alligators that were sitting up on that bank over there, they're coming back. Now more than likely I'm not going to be able to see them climb back up to the bank because they're going to be cautious for a little bit. But you could see how both of them did a circle and then came right back. There's 2 of them right over there. Oh, they're curious. They're giving me the look. That's another thing that I started noticing. You know, the more I spend time on the water, the more I recognize certain behavior patterns in alligators. Now, of course, that's a beast that needs to be respected at all times. And I'm very far from being zoologist or herpetologist or anything to do with reptiles to begin with, but I am noticing trends on how alligators behave, and so far I've been fairly accurate, I would like to say. Look at this guy. That, my friends, is an alligator who is not happy that I'm here at all. And I'm doing my best to keep my distance, and she's been following me for a while. You know, if nothing, I have to reward this alligator for being consistent. It's been almost half an hour and he is still in front of my nose, just kind of zigging and zagging. There's another one over there. Look at him clocking. It is fast. And that's just, look at that. He's like, I'm going. I'm an alligator. And mind you that he's doing so at a leisurely pace. Ooh, look at that. There's a whole bunch more around the corner here. See them? You know why? Let me show you why. Whoops. That's why. Because they all love to be on a bank just like that. Lazy bastards. Let me see if I could get them to cooperate for the shot. Oh, there he is. Just like that. It's nice and easy for them. They don't have to exert energy or anything like that. They are very lazy creatures. Gentle slopes on the bank. It just perches up over there for a little bit. There she is. Man, this lake. It's crazy. One over there, one around the bend, 3 over here. Well, there's 4. There's one, actually 2 right behind me over there. Good spot, good spot. Beautiful day. And I'm looking off in the back over there. You could see how wind is bringing in the clouds. We're supposed to be getting another one of those nasty thunderstorms definitely tomorrow, maybe today as well. So that was the reason why I was kind of hesitant to go kayaking today, but you know, if you could spot windows here and there. The main goal is not to get caught by the weather, because if you guys seen that other video that I posted about being caught in the storm, that is not a place where you want to be. Certainly not when you're surrounded by alligators with lightning hitting you all around you. Thunder, wind, and you know, even on a day like today, right now, the wind is about 13-14 miles an hour, at least looking at my drone app that I have. And which is the great irony, right? I'm taking weather from a drone app, not the actual weather app. The actual weather app is stupid, but that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, it's about 14-mile-an-hour wind, and my kayak, even without the bimini, is being bounced all over the place. So you can only imagine what conditions are like when it's picking up to 40 miles an hour here. It will carry you across the lake like it's nobody's business. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it. It's quite entertaining looking back at it, because I was going full steam, not being able to move an inch. Let's see if we get lucky. I think I may have spotted a nest for great blue herons. I see two of them sitting up on that tree. And normally, for it to be a solitary bird, there would have to be a good reason as to why they're together like that. You could see him perched up on that tree over there. Oh, there goes one parent. I don't want to get too close to disturb him. And the other one is still sitting there, top of the tree. Knows that I'm here. Been giving me the look. Alright, we're gonna let him be for a little bit. I'm gonna point my camera there nonetheless. Maybe he'll take off. Oh, there he goes. Now this is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier on. If you notice, all around me, wind has picked up quite substantially, and the way I planned it is I went into the wind on that side, following everything, and so that now when coming back the wind is actually blowing in my back. It has picked up a lot. The sky, as you can see, has gone from clear blue to milky, sort of weird looking, with clouds rolling in and everything. And the wind has been blowing in my back. And actually, if you look behind me, well, this is only half the lake that you see over there, but it's been blowing like from this direction, more or less. So when you guys go kayaking, do keep that in mind of where the wind is, because it would totally suck having to deal with the wind or paddle into the wind when you're already tired. And another thing that you're gonna notice is when the wind picks up, a lot of the alligators, they actually go right back in the water. They really don't like the wind blowing at them. They're a cold-blooded animal, so they depend entirely on temperature regulation by going in and out of the water. And with a wind chill, especially if it hits their eyes, because they really don't have any eyelids per se, so they have like a thin membrane of sorts. but they really don't like the wind. That's why when the wind picks up, you typically see a lot more of them in the water. Us seeing them on the bank like this all this time is it was only because there was no wind. They're all up in that bank over there. See them? There's one. There's a whole bunch of them. My boat is rocking, so I don't want to get you guys all queasy and everything. But they're there sleeping. All the other ones, oops, are there. There's a fancy looking cow over there. That's actually not indigenous to the United States. That's a special imported breed that they're trying to save from India, I believe, or something, or Pakistan, one of those locations. And there's a few of them, or rather, few herds like that in this area. And there's also what are those called? Like longhorn cows that you see in Texas. There's quite a few of them here in Florida as well. So not every cow is actually used for meat. Some cows are very much a part of a breeding program and rehabilitation program and conservation program. And grazing areas like this is just perfect for them. There's another fine specimen right over here. Look at that place, guy. It's like, well, don't really feel like being in the water and don't feel like being out of the water, so I'm just gonna be halfway. So he's just sitting there facing into the wind. Look at this guy. He's not big, he's about 4 feet, 4.5 feet. Looks a lot bigger than he actually is. Yeah. When the boat is rocking, it's a lot harder to. I apologize for that, guys. There you go.